Well, I got another early start this morning, as has been the case for the past few days. And I came over here to the chaotic east side of the park to continue my scouting and to see if I can find some interesting subjects over here. And the fall color is getting a little more thin, but in some cases that makes for some even better subjects because it sort of simplifies the scene. And I found that a tree with very sparse leaves is oftentimes a better subject than one that's really full of leaves. On my way over here this morning, I drove past a scene and found actually a pretty good vantage point to photograph it. And it's something I've had my eye on for the past few years. But it would be a very difficult photo. Main reason is that it would be a sunrise photo. And to do that, I have to set my camera up the day before and leave it overnight because I cannot see anything on the ground glass in the morning. So it's pretty much impossible to focus. And the difficulty for this is in the fact that that particular photo is right on the road. So if I have a chance of photographing that, it's gonna be a matter of me setting up the camera the day before and parking next to my camera, staying there the entire night, and probably at some point being questioned by the rangers as to why I'm the crazy person on the side of the road. But the other concern I have for that photo is that it's going to require a fairly long lens, possibly longer than I have. So my longest lens is a 450 millimeter, and it may require something more along the lines of a 600. But there is a chance that I could potentially borrow a lens of that focal length. So that also is a possibility. I'm going to continue scouting here and see what I can find because it is chaotic here and fall color is getting a little thin, but it's very beautiful up here. Love walking through these washes. So after wandering through the washes for probably about 45 minutes, I came around a corner and saw a pretty interesting scene. It was a pretty clean scene. And as I said in the past few days, as you're walking along, you'll know an interesting subject when you see it. It just kind of stands out. And what caught my attention was there was this maple tree. It is in transition from green to kind of yellows and oranges and reds. And it was set against some darker pine trees. And in the background, there was some pine trees up against a big wall that was getting us a nice, warm, reflected light on it. And I didn't have my camera with me, so I turned around, went back to the car, and grabbed my camera, all the while hoping that the light wasn't going to change. When I got back to the scene, the light was still good, but there were some high clouds kind of drifting over, so I had to wait for those high clouds to get out of the way because they kill the reflected light. But I set up a horizontal composition with my normal lens, and I went with normal over wide because I wanted to make sure that the background was quite large. And if I went with my wide angle lens, I think I would put too much emphasis on the wash in the foreground. But also wandering around out here, found some other interesting subjects. And so now I gotta head back to my car, gotta load some more film, grab some lunch, and then head back down the washes again because I got some other ideas. I just gotta find some other subjects, but 3 shots down for first morning back here. I don't even know what I'm saying, but 3 shots today, not bad. After going back to my truck to load some film and grab some lunch and just kind of hang out for a little bit, I decided to head back into the wash and just kind of followed it for quite a ways until I found an area that I actually had been scouting yesterday. And I found this interesting tree yesterday, and I figured it'd make for kind of a cool shot, but came back to it, and the light's actually pretty good right now. So I'm going to spin around so you can see it and drop the camera down here a little bit right there. And what's interesting is it's 2 pine trees that are kind of growing together, and they're sort of intertwined, and then in the background there's some really nice sandstone. And that sandstone adds really kind of a graphic appeal to the image. Then way back up in the corner, there's a smaller pine tree. And so it almost has the sort of feeling of like a mother and a father and a child with the way the trees are set up. And that's the sort of emotional connection I look for in images. And sometimes you can, find just a picture of a pine tree and it, seems to have a greater meaning to it. I think it doesn't hurt the fact that there is some really nice sandstone to kind of give it some graphic appeal as well. It's being lit by, if I kind of spin the camera around over here, there's some sandstone back up there that has some pretty nice afternoon light on it. And so that's reflecting into the shade, which is where the trees are. So it gives it just a really nice sort of clean look, sort of a soft pastel sort of color palette. But I was very happy to find that. And so that means that today I've photographed 2 scenes. The horizontal earlier and then the vertical shot I just took. And a total of 6 sheets of film. So I'd say that makes for a pretty good day. But now it's time to follow the 1.5 miles or so of wash back to the car, and probably continue to scout around a little bit, but I think I'm done lugging around my heavy pack for the day at least. But I'd say it's a pretty good day. Not bad at all. Well, after making that last video, I was hiking out of the wash and I stumbled upon this scene. Absolutely beautiful. Big ponderosa pine with some wonderful maples at peak fall color, all kinds of different colors. So I used my 450mm lens, you see right there, and got a horizontal shot of the pine tree draped in all those wonderful maples. Absolutely beautiful scene. I just happened to stumble upon it as I was heading out of here for the evening. So that brings it to a total of I think 8 sheets of film I exposed today. I exposed 2 sheets of Velvia on this scene here. But that makes for a heck of a day, that's for sure. I know I'm gonna sleep good tonight. Absolutely beautiful scene. If you love this content and want to help support my journey, you can do so by subscribing to my YouTube channel, telling a friend, or sending a contribution of just $24 a year via PayPal. I depend on the generous support of people like you to produce this ad-free content. Thanks in advance for your support.